Maybe you've felt it too. A quiet whisper, as if the universe is trying to show you something, without using words. You go through your routine, coffee, emails, responsibilities, but inside there's a question that won't go silent. Why does it seem like some people manifest with ease, while I keep repeating the same patterns? This isn't just a logical doubt, it's a vibrational ache, because deep down you sense that some part of you already knows how to shift reality, but that knowing feels buried beneath layers of frustration, fear, and exhaustion. Today you'll hear what your soul may already suspect. There are subtle shortcuts the universe responds to, not magic, not promises of overnight change, but fields of coherence, tiny alignments of thought, action, and presence that quietly collapse new outcomes into form. Some call them hacks, others vibrational codes. Science is beginning to name them neuroenergetic coherence, but the ancient mystics, they always knew. You're about to cross 5 of them. Energetic patterns I use every day to tune my field to what I want to live. Simple, practical, yet deeply transformative. Are you ready? Then breathe with me and step into this invisible field, the one that's always watching, always sensing, always responding. Let's start with this. The universe doesn't respond to confusion, it responds to clarity. Not mental overthinking, but energetic clarity. The kind of signal that comes from a grounded, heart-centered intention. You see, one of the biggest mistakes in manifestation is setting vague intentions. I want more abundance. I wish for love. I just want to be happy. But what does that actually mean in your energy field? When your intention is vague, your vibration becomes diluted, and the response from the universe? Scattered, delayed, or nothing at all. Now here's where it gets fascinating. Studies, like those shared by Bruce Lipton and researchers in energy medicine, have shown that specific mental intention can influence biological outcomes, even gene expression. So imagine what that same focused intention can do to your external reality. Here's what I use daily, and it shifts everything. I call it the 3 C's of intention: concrete, countable, chronological. Let me break that down. Concrete. Be clear on what you want, not just a feeling, but a vision. Instead of I want freedom, try I want to work 4 days a week doing conscious, aligned work. Countable. Define something that can be observed or measured. For example, I will send 3 proposals to aligned clients by Friday. Chronological. Give it a sacred timeline, not as pressure, but as a container. Time, when used spiritually, is a portal, not a prison. Try this. Every morning, before you open your phone, write down one intention using the 3 C's. Then hold that paper close to your heart. Breathe with it and say, I move toward this with clarity, courage, and calm. That's coherence. That's frequency alignment. And yes, the universe listens. Ready for hack 2? Here's something few people realize. It doesn't matter how often you visualize abundance. If deep inside you still see yourself as small, broken, or unworthy, that inner image becomes the real command you send to the universe. This is what I call the reverse Galatea effect. In psychology, the Galatea effect shows that the way you see yourself directly influences your performance, your decisions, and even your opportunities. But here's the twist. Most of us unconsciously operate under the reverse version. We carry silent stories like, I never finish what I start. I'm not the kind of person who attracts love. I'll always struggle with money. And guess what? These stories are frequencies. They loop in the background, shaping your vibration and quietly blocking your manifestations. So here's what I do. Take out a journal and write 2 lists. First, 5 traits you currently believe about yourself. Be honest, even if it's messy. Then, 5 traits you want to embody. The version of you that already exists, just waiting to be remembered. Every morning for 1 week, read that second list out loud, and then whisper, this is who I am becoming. This is already within me. You're not just reprogramming your mind, you're shifting your vibrational self-concept, and that changes everything. Let's move into the breath. Hack 3. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually felt your breath? Not just breathing to survive, but breathing as an anchor into presence, into stillness, into power. Most of us live in beta brainwave overload, shallow breath, tense shoulders, racing mind, and in that state, quantum insight can't land. Your nervous system is too noisy to receive it. Joe Dispenza has shown that when we slow our breath, we slow our brainwaves. We move into coherence. And from that space, reality starts to respond differently. Here's a simple breathing practice I use, especially before setting intentions. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly for 8 seconds. Do this 3 times with your hand over your heart. Let your focus drop into your chest. Not your head, not your thoughts. Just the quiet, rhythmic pulse of your being. After 3 rounds, you'll feel it. The noise softens, the field opens, and that's when you speak your intention. Let's keep going. Have you ever felt like nothing is moving forward, even though you're doing all the spiritual work? Sometimes the block isn't about energy, it's about integrity, not moral integrity, but energetic alignment between your actions and your values. There's an ancient Hermetic principle that says, as within, so without, as above, so below. This is more than poetry, it's vibrational law. If your daily actions, the micro, contradict your soul values, in the macro, you create energetic dissonance. And that dissonance repels the very manifestations you're calling in. Here's how to realign. Look at your week. Choose 3 actions that you can take, small, clear, physical, that reflect your deeper values. If you value presence, maybe it's turning your phone off for 2 hours. If you value creativity, it could be 15 minutes of sacred writing or drawing. If you value love, it could be 1 text to reconnect with no agenda. Then observe. Life will reflect it back. Not always, immediately, but undeniably. Let's move into our final hack, the one that brings it all together. Here's the biggest misunderstanding about manifestation. People think observation is passive, but in quantum physics and in life, that's not true. You don't just watch reality, you shape it. There's a famous experiment in quantum physics, the double slit experiment, where the presence of an observer actually alters the outcome. Translated to your life, when you observe your reality with presence instead of judgment or fear, you collapse a different potential into form. So here's a daily practice I call the quantum mirror. Every day, take 5 minutes to observe one situation in your life, a conflict, a stuck pattern, a limiting belief. But instead of reacting, just watch it, curiously, lovingly, as if it were an experiment in consciousness. Then ask, what else could this become? Not with desperation, with openness. That moment, as that space of conscious observation, is when timelines begin to shift. Now, let's bring it all together. These 5 quantum hacks aren't magic tricks, they're frequency alignments. They build a vibrational field around you and as you that the universe can clearly respond to. When your intentions are clear, when your self-image supports your desires, when your breath brings coherence, when your actions match your soul, and when your observation becomes conscious, you become a magnet, not by force, but by frequency. I've seen this in my own life. One woman I guided was stuck in a painful relationship loop for years. She started applying just 3 of these hacks, and within 2 weeks, something cracked open, a conversation that changed everything, not because she forced it, but because she changed the field around it. Now I invite you to begin. Start with just 1. Choose the hack that spoke to your heart. Practice it today. Write down what you notice and return in 1 week to review what shifted. The universe is listening. Now it's your turn to speak, not just with words, but with vibration.